welcome to Fraggle Talk, a Tough Pigs podcast where we dive deep through the fantastical, whimsical world of Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock. My name is Beth, and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia, and I am rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and I am watching for the first time, and I will not make the same joke I made at the beginning of the last episode, but I'm going to have to come up with a new one.
So today we are talking about episode 2 of season 1, Wembley and the Gorgs.
I love the world building in this episode, and also just such beautiful satire. There is an art to doing satire in such a way that everyone knows what you're talking about, and there's no way for the people you're making fun of to at all seem cool. And they've nailed it 100% here, and it makes me very happy.
Agreed. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. At first I didn't know exactly what you were talking about, and then I went, oh, wait, no, I get it. Yep. So, elaborate more on that.
We get to meet more of the Gorgs, and it raises some questions, but it also answers some questions. And you learn a little bit about their culture, I should say. I don't know if I should say their culture. There's one family. You got 3 of them.
Yeah, and that's all we're gonna get.
Cool. I have questions.
That's fair. Before we get into it, peek behind the curtain. It's been a while since we recorded the first episode. I was trying to remember, is Junior the only Gorg we saw in the first episode? Besides, not counting the theme song, did we see Ma and Pa in the first episode?
I don't think so.
Okay. We did not.
That's what I thought. Song. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good context. Good reminder.
Excellent. But yeah, we meet Pa Fraggle, or Pa Gorg, who is the king of the universe, and walks around his house wearing a crown that looks like it's made out of aluminum, and is just so very furious that he doesn't have any subjects, because he is the king of the universe. And oh boy, we've all met somebody like that. Maybe they work in an office, maybe they work at a school, but they firmly believe that they have status, and they are very frustrated that people are not respecting the status that they have. Which, did they earn it? No. Yeah,
it's also just timely, unfortunately, for, we don't need to get into the landscape of what's going on, the state of the world, but, we've also seen that attitude on
what's
television.
Going on when this airs,
That's true.
It'll still be relevant.
It'll unfortunately always be relevant.
The continued relevance is scary.
It's so funny because, I have seen Fraggle Rock. It's just been a long time. So when I was rewatching it last night, I was like, oh yeah, there's Pa Gorg. All right, and I didn't even consider I don't even remember what went through my head the first time I watched it, where I was just like, oh yeah, this guy just thinks he has so many subjects, but also it's just him and his family in this castle, and that's it. I guess he does find subjects this episode, but what universe are they ruling over? There are a lot of questions that are raised.
My biggest question is, how the heck does Doc not know about this person? Where does he fit into the human world? They see Sky. They have Sky. They are apparently tapped into Doc's water line. But it's a well pump. Mainly okay, Doc, there's someone leaching your water, and they clearly live in open air. Are they just members of the HOA? What? I don't... Is that, you don't have to tell me how, but is that ever answered?
Sort of. Kind of towards the end of the series, we get to see more ways in which Fraggle Rock is connected to the worlds that it is connected to.
You have to wait a few seasons.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to see just the last episode, just Doc's going outside to get the mail, and you see Pa there, and he goes, oh, hey, General, and General goes, hey, Doc, and then they just walk back in, and you're like, oh, you just knew each other this whole time. All right, fine. Anyways.
Look at the Muppet Julia has in her lap.
He was prancing next to me, and I thought that it would maybe, in fact, I'm going to take his collar off now as long as we're talking about him. It would maybe be quieter if he was just sitting on my lap. He looks a lot like Sprocket.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes, you do.
His name's Magnus. I'm going to try to keep him quiet, and this way hopefully he won't bark if he hears anyone outside.
Named after the Burnsides or the Archives?
His owner is Scottish, so I think that but when I watch him, I call him Little Magnus Burnsides.
There we go.
He rushes in.
I forget that not all names are pop culture references.
I know. Yeah. Why would anyone name something that wasn't a pop culture reference? Anyway.
I don't know. I don't understand people. Beth, you were saying.
Right. So, question. Is the joke that Sprocket just cares about the cute models in the dog magazine, is that kind of dated now? I feel like there's no way anyone pitching that joke would get that aired on a children's show nowadays.
It's dated for a children's show. Like, what I wrote in my notes, this feels so out of place on this show.
I wrote, gee, Doc, projecting much?
That's true. Like, that's all dog owners like to do with their dogs is, like, be like, oh, that dog is my dog's girlfriend. They like him so much. And it's like, no, your dog's just smelling another dog's butt.
That's just how they say hi. It's like, aw, my dog's also sad because all of his dreams in life didn't pan out. Yes, you are, buddy.
Basically, yeah.
We will see more of that with Doc and Sprocket as they start to get crushes on a certain neighbor and their dog.
Oh.
But it seems to be...
Yeah.
They both seem to be into it. And we also hear about, for the first time, Ned Shimmelfinney.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbor with the cat?
The neighbor with the cat. Ned Shimmelfinney is going to be a Maris Crane, if you will, in that we will hear a lot about Ned Shimmelfinney, but never see him.
We see his cat.
Oh, yes.
We do. Fluffinella.
They yeet a puppet through a doorway, and it's like, I will never get tired of that being the bit of just like, yep, there's this thing happening. Nope, we're just hucking a puppet.
It's always a great visual.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Fluffinella attacking Sprocket goes on a little long for my comfort level.
Oh, yeah.
And Doc's just kind of smiling through it.
Yeah, the more I watch this show, the more I'm just like, Doc's
not a good dog owner.
He's not. And there's some deeper philosophical implications there that can be explored if one is curious. But that mostly keys into the third episode, so we can get to that later.
Right. I just thought it was funny that I knew that it was Karen Prell voicing Fluffinella when all she was saying was, and I was like, that's Karen Prell. And it is.
Nice.
So after that, we
get to see Gobo and... what's the dude with the walking stick's name?
Boober.
Boober, thank you. You see Gobo and Boober, and they are waiting to retrieve the mail. And Gobo's like, there's another great bit that I wrote down here. Gobo's like, I'm just going to mosey out. And then he sprints out, and Boober goes, that's a very spirited mosey.
Boober gets all the best lines.
He does.
And this is the first of many lucky items that we get to see from Boober. He's got a lucky walking stick. Later we hear that his hat is lucky. I think he's got a lucky flower pot at some point.
Dang.
I mean, he's a very worried character, and so, you know, he needs all the luck he can get in his mind.
That's valid, and that's an interesting... I like that we're seeing not just the anxiety, but the coping mechanism, and that we see the coping mechanism first, and then we get to sort of infer the anxiety later. Like, that's good storytelling.
I like that. Of course, we also did see him in episode 1 being very superstitious about, like, oh, don't tug on your tail, it'll cause death and pestilence. That was episode 1, right?
I think so, yeah. It really, sets up the kind of character that we're getting from him.
Yeah. Then I believe Gobo.
Gobo.
Names are hard.
You'll get them.
No, the two of them together, that's their couple name, Goober.
Goober, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. All right. And then they founded the peanut butter and jelly company together.
Exactly.
Anyways, so Gobo runs back in, slams into Boober, breaks his stick. Doesn't seem very apologetic. He's like, he gives it some lip service, but he's not like, oh, dude, that's like on me for not looking where I was going, and I broke your stick. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, flawed characters are part of how we learn. And I appreciate that. But, like, come on, dude. Like, that's literally... You broke it. And then we get to see Wembley. Wembley is singing a great song.
On his little bongo drums, yeah.
I love that song.
What is the name of the song? Is it I Am Here?
It's called Here to There.
Here to There, that's right.
And there was a really nice cover of this song on the 2018 cover album, Do It On Our Own. This was covered by the band Optiganally Yours? Optiganally? I don't know how you pronounce this word, or if it's even a word.
I have no idea.
Octagonally Yours?
It's not octagonally. It's Optiganally P-A-L-L-Y.
Optagonal? That...
Optigonally Yours began with P. Hicks's fascination with the Optigan, a keyboard manufactured. Okay, so it's a musical thing.
It's a pop culture reference. See, it makes sense to me now. I love this little song that Wembley sing, by the way. I love this, like, kind of linguistic, like, trickery, but it's not even trickery. It's just, like, weird words are weird and I'm gonna play with it.
Yeah. I really enjoy this song. It is, I think, kind of... Not that I didn't enjoy the first episode the first time I watched, but for this song, I think, was the moment that I was truly, like, won over by Fraggle Rock, where I was like, okay... I like this show. I like what it's doing, and I'm here for the long haul. And yeah, this is the only thing I really remembered about this episode going in was that we were going to see this song.
Yeah, and it's so short. It's such a sweet little thing.
Yeah, well, because it doesn't need to be longer. It's the kind of song that would be like you would take away from it by adding to it. Also, I just want to reiterate, Fraggle Cave looks so chill. I want to go camping there. I want to kick it and have a little fire and sing songs.
So much.
Yeah, it's really charming. Little just like stone like bunk beds and everything.
Right.
I have a dream of turning my house into that, like painting the walls to look like stone and having, like glow in the dark little mushroom things and crystal things and ugh.
I just want alcoves. Give me a bunch of alcoves all over the place.
I just want to give Boober's incredible line. That lucky walking stick protected me from ghosts and volcanoes and the agony of dingy gray laundry.
Yeah, that was good.
I also noted that line. And then, yeah, Boober also refuses to go out into the Gorg garden to get a new lucky walking stick because he doesn't have his lucky walking stick to protect him in the Gorg's garden. So it's a really vicious cycle for him and the way that he lives.
That's rough, buddy.
And we also see in this part, Gopo agrees to like go get him a new stick from the Gorg's garden, and he convinces Wembley, although he doesn't actually have to do that much to convince Wembley. Wembley's a really agreeable guy, as we see immediately.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the agreeable go along to get along was an absolute trip, and I really like the way that they tie that in with General Papa as like, oh yeah, like demagogues often surround themselves with sycophants because that's how that works. If you want somebody to do the right thing, you tell them the truth. If you want them to do what you want them to, you tell them what they want to hear. Or something like that. I don't remember the quote exactly.
Dang.
Sorry, did I make it real?
No, it is real. I mean, the fact that, Wembley is so awed by being in the presence of the king and queen of the universe. Like, suddenly they're not just the big scary Gorgs anymore. He feels honored by getting to speak to them, to be in their presence. And so, of course, I will bow and say, hurrah for the king!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of the king, one of the big things in screenwriting is choices. And the first active choice we see this dude make is to push his child off a ladder. This dude's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really bold, like, introduction to this character. You know exactly what you're getting with him. You're like, okay, this is who he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dang. I also appreciate that they don't necessarily, like, there's, like, a little bit of a sound effect, but they don't play it up for laughs as much as they could. They kind of let that act be like, no, that's also, like, a little bit messed up. It's a little slapstick, but that's a little messed up.
Yeah, they're not, like, condoning it, It is, we do see, especially, like, near the end of this episode, a lot of physical humor from the Gorgs kind of, like, falling over each other. But, I don't think that the show is trying to condone that, like, this is a totally cool way to treat your child. Just kick, like, the bucket they're standing on and make them fall over because that's the way that you live your life. Probably don't do that. But, the Gorgs are kind of painted. They're definitely painted as, like, they're not the villains of the show, but they're definitely, like, the antagonists of the Fraggles, and we're not supposed to be totally on board with them at this point in the show, because they haven't grown, and they want to control the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely not pointed satire or commentary on anything at all.
Nope. Also, Magorg is going to, at some point, get a makeover. Her eyes are super huge. Let's
talk
version.
about those eyes. Oh.
Which, I don't know, like, so we watched episodes 2 and 3, and I don't know why, for whatever reason, like, whenever she was on screen, I must have just been taking notes. And in the 3rd episode, I was like, oh, her eyes are bugging out. Like, they're huge. She's gonna look different. Is it gonna happen in season 1, or does it happen further along?
Yeah, I think it's about 12 episodes in.
Because she gets a makeover and Gobo gets a haircut at some point. And I kind of figured they probably happened maybe around the same time. Like it was
And Gobo gets a slight outfit change.
Yeah, slight outfit change as well. Like something behind the scenes. They're like, okay, let's just do a couple like updates. We've gotten feedback from the network and these are the 2 characters. Everyone else, fine. But these characters, we gotta just update their looks a little bit. Yeah.
I appreciate... Sorry, I'm bouncing back to the family dynamic there. I appreciate and also am a little bit saddened by how just, like, okay with everything Junior is.
Yeah.
That kind of breaks my heart a little bit, and I'm wondering how much that dynamic, if at all, is going to get explored of the, like, oh, yeah, these are my parents and I love them, and this is the way they treat me is normal. Like, is there an arc there, or is this just sort of like, no, this kind of sucks, and that's just how it is? We're the foil, and we show you what not to do.
So the Gorgs definitely have an arc in relationship to the Fraggles, and then Junior definitely has his own arc as a character.
Mm-hmm.
I won't spoil that for you, but I will say that things get better all around.
That's good. I also just want to give props to the line, pay me heed. Well, if I had any heed, I'd pay it to you, but I'm broke.
That's such a Muppets line.
It is.
All right, what happens next?
So I did make a note about how like well done the tinier version of the Fraggle puppets are that they use with like when they're on screen with the Gorgs. Like, you know, I don't have much more to say than that. They're really cool and really well done for being like so much smaller than the normal puppets.
Yeah.
It speaks to the depth of their world building that I did not realize those were different puppets until just now. Just kind of was like, oh yeah, and then the Gorgs are big, and yeah, great. No seams in the world building. Props.
I read in the Ultimate Visual History of Fraggle Rock, aka The Tome.
The Tome.
I read that one of the original ideas was to do the same thing with the Fraggles and the Doozers, to make human-sized Fraggle puppets.
What?
Right.
That would have been bonkers.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they managed so many cool feats on this show, so they honestly probably could have done it really well and made it work, but like, visualizing it in my mind, it looks weird.
I know, it feels disturbing to think about. You're like, no, Fraggles are this big.
Yeah.
And they don't have human proportions. That part's important.
Yeah.
When you see the occasional Fraggle cosplay, it's adorable and also slightly weird.
Literally was thinking the exact same thing, that it's like when people make Fraggle Rock costumes for like Halloween or for conventions, and it's like something about this is so like uncanny valley where I don't want to see the Fraggles be my size. They are supposed to be very small and very cute in that form, and that's it.
Alrighty. Based on my notes, what happens next is all the Fraggles get ready for battle and they sing a song?
Yes,
Wembley, because Wembley gets taken. But we've talked about how agreeable he is, but yeah, he gets not kidnapped, like, was he caught in a bucket or in a flower pot? That's right.
Yeah.
So he's kind of voluntarily going along at this point.
Yeah.
But the other Fraggles see him as captive.
Yeah, taken is maybe a strong word. He's not, like, fighting it at all. He's like, oh, I guess this is my life now. Live with these Gorgs.
Which, I mean, I feel it, bud. I remember one time when I was a kid, I was taking apart stuff, because that's what kids do, and I was in my mom's office, and I took the doorknob off, and then realized I could not open the door. And rather than call for help, I just was like, oh, I just have to live the rest of my life in this room. All right, well, they're going to have to put food under the door and feed me water in a tube.
Well, you made it out somehow, so good for you.
Yeah, I blacked out and woke up about 3 months ago. The rest of it's just a blur.
Oh, dear.
No, my dad walked up and just, like, jammed his pocket knife into the weird mess of cogs that was the absence of a doorknob and just turned it and opened the door.
Probably the right thing to do as a parent. To save your child.
I was overjoyed at my newfound freedoms, so that was great.
Well, that's thematically appropriate.
Hey, speaking of thematically appropriate, they sing a song, and it's a great song.
It's a great song. So Gobo's got a little snare drum. He's wearing some sort of a lid for a helmet. He's got a tennis racket as like a chest plate for armor. He's got a wooden sword strapped to his back. Now Red has like legit armor, like, you know, play pretend armor, because we're gonna see her play pretend as Princess Gwynolith later on in the series.
Joy.
And she's carrying, like, it's almost as if they got like a little shovel from a shovel and pail set that you would take to the beach, and then they painted it silver.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got, can anyone figure out what her shield is? She's got a rectangular-ish shield with holes in it.
Oh, it's like a metal plate. It's like a metal panel off of like a circuit board or whatever.
Well, all right then.
Either way, there's a special spot in my heart for scrap armor, and as soon as they put all this stuff on, I was like, oh, Fallout Fraggle Rock.
Yep. So I love that Moki, she just happens to have a sieve with 2 huge eye holes cut out of it. Mm-hmm. They've clearly done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have it like all ready to go. So clearly, I don't know, they've done rescue missions or adventures or something with all of this gear before.
Yep. And we'll see, you know, they have multiple costumes. Boober has a doctor's costume. Red has a little, you know, inspector costume. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yeah.
No seams in the world building. Alrighty, and they sing a song, and then they head off. Also, I want to note in that song that they're singing, there's a wide establishing shot. And in that wide establishing shot, we have 3 different layers of puppets, like rows where puppeteers can put their hands up, plus a foreground. Plus, there are puppets in the background riding a seesaw and singing while they're riding the seesaw. That's not an easy thing to do with puppets.
Nope.
They could have just had them standing on a tall thing. But they were like, no, they're on a seesaw.
Yeah, I mean, this show often is very extra. Like, they could do the bare minimum and it still would be, like, a great show, but they just continually go above and beyond with, like, everything on screen.
Yeah. Alrighty. What happens next?
According to my notes, so this is when we cut back to Doc, and we have, like, Doc and Sprocket meeting Fluffinella, because Doc's gonna leave Sprocket with his neighbor, Ned Shimmelfinney, while he goes off to win, like, what's he gonna win, like, Best Tinkerer?
He is Man of the Year
from the North American Society of Tinkerers.
That's it, yeah. Which, like, at the start, he's like, oh, Sprocket, I'm not going to go. And then the second he finds out he's going to win an award, he's like, bye, Sprocket. And then in my notes, when, like, Fluffinella, like, enters and starts attacking him, like, I wrote, what the heck, Doc? Your dog is getting attacked by a cat. And you're just like, well, it takes a little time to make friends. What the heck? But then we cut back to Wembley with the Gorgs, and Wembley is singing them a little song.
I love this feast that they've got spread out for him. And I was trying to note everything that they've got in this feast. And, like, obviously Wembley is eating a half-eaten radish. There's watermelon. There's, I think, a cheese with a slice taken out of it. You know, there's a jug and a goblet. And I think there's, like, a pile of some loaves of bread, but there are mysterious clumps of whitish stuff that first I was like, are those dollops of whipped cream? Are they clumps of mashed potatoes? Are they chunks of bread? What is this stuff? And I never could figure it out.
It's interesting because I don't ever really think about, like, the different kinds of, like, food that exist in Fraggle Rock, and I guess even more so with, like, the Gorgs, because we know the Fraggles like radishes, and I'm sure that they do, and we'll see, like, them have, like, other foods that they enjoy, but, like, are the Gorgs baking bread? Do they know how to, like, make all the same foods as us? Do they have access to, like, I don't know, that's, like, something I've never really thought about when it comes to Fraggle Rock.
I've thought about that a lot.
I'm sure that you have, of all the people, you've put a lot of thought into what's going into their tummies.
Look, local ecosystem is really important, and it's a huge theme for the next episode. So if they're thinking about it, we should be too.
I mean, it's a huge theme for the series, honestly.
Excellent. You'll love to hear it. I especially like seeing that, like, oh, they take care of him while he's praising them. Because that's also how that works. Like, if you're a demagogue or just... demagogue or minor demagogue, and people are nice to you, usually, like, most demagogues with a decent head on their shoulders know to invest in their sycophants, because that's how you keep your sycophants. But once you start trying to go against their will, then you find out pretty quickly, like, oh, it doesn't really do anything. And I think that's a great way to demonstrate that lesson to kids.
Yep. And I love that this is Wembley's flaw in this episode, that Gobo says, poor Wembley, he'd try to be agreeable with anybody. And, like, you know, in theory, that's a great way to move through the world. And yet...
Yeah, he's agreeable to a fault, unfortunately. At least at this point in the episode.
So they try to rescue him, and they get captured, and they decide that they're going to break out of their cage with the power of Motown. And that's when my episode stopped loading.
Oh no!
No, you didn't get the song?
I got the first, I think, about 2/3 of the song.
Okay. You at least got the gist of, like, what was going down.
It was a good song.
Right.
Oh, I liked it. Y'all have to tell me what happens, though.
So if this is where the episode cut out for you, I'm guessing you did not see Uncle Traveling Matt's postcard?
No, I don't think I did.
It was a pretty great one. So he's outside watching people flying kites.
Mm-hmm.
And describes them as creatures that live in the sky. And he says they swoop and soar and seem altogether as carefree as Fraggles. But then he discovered that they are held captive on strings by the silly creatures.
Calls them captive flying things. And same with, he also discovers balloons as well are also captive flying things. And he decides that he's going to free them.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
What a mensch.
Takes
what a bro.
A comic pair of scissors and cuts the balloons free. And yay, they're flying free in the sky. But when he cuts one of the other flying creatures free, the kite, he says it immediately landed and waited for its master. Evidently, the world here is much the same as Fraggle Rock, in that some creatures value freedom more than others.
Wow. Okay. Dang. Wow. This is a kid's show. Okay.
Right?
That's... Also, can I just say, like, oh, this monster's in prison. Better free it. Like, instant praxis. Mad respect, Traveling Matt.
So good.
But wow, what a thing to extrapolate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I don't have any analysis on that. I just have more wows.
So, your thoughts earlier about the Gorgs being, you know, these people with power, and it's largely ceremonial. You didn't get to see the court scene. No,
there's a court?
Yeah, Wembley makes a case that his friends should receive a fair trial. And the Gorgs, like, immediately love this. They're super excited to have a trial. Which I couldn't remember the how it was going to turn out, but initially I was just like, they're not going to rule in the favor of the Fraggles, no way. But Wembley makes a really great case for them.
Well, the fact that they just have black robes and barristers' wigs lying around,
that's true,
just in case they need to have a trial.
They run off in excitement and come back dressed up.
Do you not?
I don't. My costume box is sadly lacking in that particular regard.
Wow, what a weirdo.
I know, right?
Just don't have just black robes and a barrister's wig? Like, gosh. I have like 5 if you want one of my extras.
Okay, but can you be the girl from the Cake song Short Skirt, Long Jacket at the drop of a hat?
Depends on how many space objects I have to rely on. Wait, could I? Probably, actually.
I'll bet you could, honestly.
I don't think I threw that out yet. Anyways, so tell me about the trial. What points does he argue for his case? Like, how does he?
It's extremely brief. So Junior wants to thump the Fraggle Five.
He brings out a giant club, and he's like, "I want to thump these Fraggles." He wants to smush them.
Oh, that's unsettling. Oh boy.
Yeah. So Ma Gorg asks, do these Fraggles deserve to be thumped? Because they're being fancy now, so you have to say thumped.
Mm-hmm.
And Wembley gives this beautiful, impassioned speech about, well, of course they don't deserve to be thumped. Like, they you know what? I wrote it down word for word because of course I did. Here we go.
Good.
Well, of course they don't deserve to be thumped. Gobo, he knows all about the crannies and all of the caves of Fraggle Rock, and Moki knows songs, and Red knows games, and Boober, well, Boober knows special stuff that means a lot to him. I've known them all forever, and I've always loved them. They don't deserve thumping. They deserve good stuff. They deserve to live.
The shade thrown at Boober, like Wembley coming up short to think of like something that Boober knows or really likes is gold. It made me laugh out loud.
They're useful and good for this reason, and they're useful and good for this reason, and Boober is good company for himself.
It's important to him, and that's what matters. Gosh darn it.
But Wembley is super impassioned, and at first it seems like, it actually went really well, and the Gorgs were like, we agree they don't deserve to be thumped, and that's great. And then they're like, actually, though, surprise, we're just going to enslave you all, and you're all just going to be our servants from now on, and you'll just be stuck here.
Yeah.
Which is what demagogues do.
Mm-hmm.
Pogorg literally says, let's keep them instead as slaves.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dang.
They said slaves. I changed it when I was, just now. But, so obviously being not thumped is good, but also not the best outcome. And this is when Wembley has a change of heart, being like, hey, my friends were like right about you guys. This is not cool. And we didn't mention before, who's the first one that bites Pogorg on the nose? Is it...
So first, Gobo pokes him in the nose with his wooden sword.
That's right, okay.
And then when Gobo realizes, oh, they're not so great after all, then he bites Pogorg on the nose.
Wembley bites him on the nose, after he's had his realization that's like, oh, yeah, we need to actually get out of here now. And then all of the Gorgs start freaking out. And this is, I mentioned it earlier, there's a lot of physical comedy with the Gorgs kind of all falling over each other a little bit as the Fraggles make their escape. Yeah.
And then the last little bit is just, Wembley and Gobo, cozy at home at the end of the day, right before bed. And Wembley says, it didn't seem like I was a slave. I guess some slavery feels like freedom.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice what they were doing to me, till they tried to do it to you.
Wow!
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
This is episode 2 of a children's show from the 80s.
Whoa.
Jim Henson was not messing around.
Oh, God.
He said, I'm going to make a show about creating world peace, and he meant it.
Oh, well, oh, God. Buddy. Wow. I'm speechless. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's a reality trope that I don't think gets talked enough about.
Mm.
They've done research on abused kids and stuff, and usually the older one will just take it and will only start trying to affect some kind of change when they see that their younger sibling is getting the same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That is a trend that has been noted, which my data on that is old, and if it's been disproven, if our 2 or 5 or 12 listeners know enough to disprove me on that, please let me know. I would love to have up-to-date data. But that is the thing that, as far as I'm aware, I have heard and I have seen in practice a little bit in my teaching.
Yeah, that's pretty sound, that we as people recognize the wrongs done to other people before we'll recognize them, or we won't recognize the stuff happening to us until we see it happening with others. Yeah.
Yeah, or people we care about or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. That's... Ow.
Right.
Alrighty.
And then we end with a lovely little puppetry trick of Gobo blowing out a candle.
Wow.
How did they do that?
Carefully?
Which we've seen with the Muppets before, haven't we?
Definitely. It's definitely a repeat trick. I meant to look up how they did that and forgot.
It's in the 2011 Muppets film, and I'm sure they've done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you hold the puppet, and then behind the puppet you hold one of those little air hoofs things, and you just aim it and do a few takes until you get it right.
I'll bet they could do that, like if they put like a tube in the throat.
No, you just hold it behind it so the camera can't see
Or
it.
it's like off screen or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the final note him blowing out the candle, or is it Doc coming back from his conference?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we end with Doc coming back. And what the heck is this trophy thing he's holding? I tried to pause my screen so I could get a clear shot of it, but it looks like, like a plaque with a thing mounted on it that, as far as I can tell, looks like if a golden cow was made in Minecraft.
Yeah, I had the thought of, like, for a conference of tinkerers, they didn't tinker it very well.
I mean, look, this conference of tinkerers named Doc Man of the Year. You think they're good at what they do?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So the whole point of the closing segment is that he only stayed for 1 day instead of the full 4 days because he missed his dog so much. And he gives Sprocket a giant bone that says Dog of the Year.
That's not how you maintain healthy relationships, buddy. That's not how that works. Does he come back to Sprocket as just like a mass of bandages?
No. Well, not this time.
You can't just mistreat people and then make it up to them with a grand gesture. That's not how that works.
Nope.
Anyways. Reflection thoughts. Specific things I'm interested in. Julia, what bits about this did you remember going into it, and what bits surprised you and caught you off guard?
I mentioned already, I remembered the bongo song, and I knew specifically it was in the second episode. There were like little bits and pieces that came back to me. Like I had remembered when it happened, the kite bit with Uncle Traveling Matt, the song that they sing when they're imprisoned, I am familiar with, potentially because of a new Fraggle Rock thing that we won't get into. And I was surprised, like, as much as you are, about like all of the really like kind of heavy themes they tackle like right out the gate in the second episode, I would say.
Solid. And then Beth, what parts of this were you just like, yes, this is my favorite part of this beat?
Oh gosh. Definitely the songs, both Here to There and Fraggle Rock Rock are high up on my list of favorites. And I remember being eager to find out the nuances of this, interspecies dynamic, because we see that dynamic grow and change over the course of the series, but this is the first time that we see any of the Fraggles contemplating that the Gorgs might be anything other than just, horrible creatures who want to kill them. And then it feels like at the end they kind of almost revert back to that of like, oh, yeah, no, they're bad.
Yeah, I mean, progress happens slowly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame them for that. Anybody have anything else they want to add on this episode?
Do you want to hear about the variations in the international versions?
Yes.
So, in the French version, Doc wins an award from the Society of Nouvelle Cuisine for his pomme frite melba, and his dog Croquette, is having this same reaction as Sprocket and doesn't want him to leave. And when Doc returns home at the end, Croquette is wringing out a handkerchief filled with tears into his dog bowl.
Oh no!
Don't drink that, Sprocket. It's salt water.
And of course, this all comes from Muppet Wiki.
Thanks, Muppet Wiki.
And it says in the German version, their neighbor who looks after Sprocket is called Herr Kommelgroller, and his cat Fluffinella. And then in the Traveling Matt segment, he's wearing a typical German feathered cap. Spotting several TV screens in a shop window, Matt thinks that there are mini silly creatures trapped in these boxes. At night, Matt tries to help the tiny creatures escape, but the people on the TV screens only laugh. Uncle Matt decides that they must have been imprisoned so long that they have resigned to their fate.
What? This show, dang.
Woof.
All right. Shall we close with some way you can make the world a little fragglier?
Yeah. Keep pretend armor on hand. Make it from whatever you got around the house. You'll never know when you need it.
Don't thump things that are smaller than you.
Get a lucky stick to keep you safe from ghosts and volcanoes and the dangers and horrors of drab gray laundry.
Well said. Thanks for joining us again for Fraggle Talk. Reminder to follow Tough Pigs on wherever you get your social media. If you want to follow me, I am at Beth Anna Cook. That's Anna with 2 N's. Julia is at Geek Girl Grown Up. And Adam is an unperceivable entity that we pulled out of the bog.
Adam has a thing to plug from deep down in the squelchy boglands.
What?
If you like lo-fi hip-hop and pop culture, I have a lo-fi hip-hop EP that I put out, and it's half original stuff and half covers. And I specifically picked songs from moments in pop culture stuff that made me feel things. So, like, there's a deep cut song off of the soundtrack of the Neon Genesis Evangelion movie. If you know the Stanley Parable, the video game, the sequel the guy did to that is called Beginner's Guide, and there's a song off of there that I do. And then there's a Mountain Goat song that I did a lo-fi remix of because I'm that level of white boy.
Heck yes. That's awesome.
Love it.
The album is called Moments and Memories, and if you the artist name on Spotify is Badger Blossom, just the word badger and the word blossom, all one word, no capitalizations because it's lo-fi.
Excellent. All right. Thanks for joining us for Fraggle Talk, and we'll catch you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by ToughPigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk. Oh, so, okay, I have to find this quote. Pause for book page turning sounds.
Book page turning, turning page, pages in my book. We're turning them because book page turning, turning books. Turn the pages in the book.
Boom, boom. Okay, anyway.
Did I vamp long enough for you? Because I don't have a second
perfect.
verse.